So he did like a workout with me that I led, and then I did a dance workout with him.
Oh, fun.
So I got my hip hop moves on.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Oh, God. 3, 2, 1. We are live. So, Black Lives Matters, right?
No, Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter,
Yeah.
yes. Sorry, it's like not very good at English. It's getting a new category called Nicklish, by the way.
Nicklish?
Yeah, it's just not something I...
That's cute.
Yeah, thank you. I like that. The question is not about that, but Black Lives Matter. The cop got convicted for manslaughter. How is your feelings of that?
It's kind of like thank you. Like, finally. It's about time, accountability.
Yeah.
And I was just watching AOC's Instagram, and she was talking about how this conviction is not justice.
Yeah.
Like, justice is George Floyd coming home today.
Yeah.
Justice is the 13-year-old boy getting tucked in bed tonight by his mom.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's setting a precedent, so it's about to go down. So it's a good thing. It's a big thing. But then if you think about how many people that didn't get this in the past, it's sad. It's sad, but it's a moving forward kind of moment. But when I saw that, it was actually yesterday morning.
Right. It was like,
So I was like, my album came out, and I was excited about that. But then I saw that on the news, and I was like, hell yeah.
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 Kind of mixed emotions there for
Mixed
sure.
emotions, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Your album just came out.
Yeah, it just came
congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Let's talk about it a little bit later on then.
Yeah.
So, your dad's American.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom's Korean.
Mm-hmm.
And you grew up in Japan. You were born here, right?
Born and raised.
Yeah.
Yokohama, baby.
Yes. What's this? Why are you so passionate about Yokohama?
I don't know. I mean, why can't I?
I think it's cool.
Yokohama's really chill. I think it's that one place where it has like a nice mix of old Japan, old and international Japan, because it's like the first port to open to the West.
Nice.
So
I didn't even know that.
it has a lot of, the Western influenced architecture.
Right.
And we have the biggest Chinatown in Japan.
That is so true. I've had, what is that? Fukahire? Which is like shark fin ice cream there once.
What? Really? I wouldn't be surprised.
With the vanilla ice. I was like, what is this? It was
Probably
like
not that bad.
$1,500, like $15 or something. I was like, I have to try this one.
Yeah.
But it was kind of meh.
Oh my God, next time you go to Shatenki.
Yeah.
The best congee you will ever have.
Oh, yeah?
Do you like congee?
What is congee?
Okayu.
Okayu? Not a big fan.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I kind of like to chew my rice if I'm going to eat it.
But you like natto.
I love natto.
And you be doing like natto, egg, doro stuff. It's like pretty much the same thing.
Well, I put natto and eggs on top of my oatmeal.
Oatmeal is basically rice porridge.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Maybe I should try it out then.
It's so good. And it's the other stuff on the menu everything is great. Like fried chicken there is really good.
Cool.
Mecha oishii.
I'm pretty sure Dumbfounded Media will find a link to this and put it in the subscription.
Yeah.
And then I can find it.
And it's just very laid back. It's a beautiful port town. And the sky is bigger than Tokyo.
What?
I feel like.
The sky is big all over.
But you know what I mean.
I'll tell you why I know exactly what you mean. So I stayed in Japan for 3 years the first time I came here and lived in a dorm. And it was in Ikebukuro, and there's like whole small streets, and everything was just really compact, right? And you feel like you're always like trying to not bump into stuff, right? So I go back to Denmark for the first time in 3 years, and I was just walking down the streets, going, holy crap. Like everyone is just like walking straight down the streets. It's like you're about to bump into people because they have their own space, their own like personal freedom, like limitations are totally off the hook. And then the sky was so huge in Copenhagen. I was so surprised by it.
Sure.
Yeah, I saw this. I get it. Yeah. Did you go to international school or Japanese school?
No, I didn't. I went to American school.
American school?
Because my dad was in the Navy.
Okay.
So I went to an American school on the base, and then from middle school we had to go to Yokosuka.
Mm.
So I had to take the school bus from Yokohama, and that leaves at 5:55 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
So I would have to wake up at 4:50 every morning until I graduated high school. On top of that, I was a singer already,
Yeah.
so I would have to do promo and work during the weekends. I was playing basketball, so we would have basketball games
Nice.
on the weekends, and I was also in the marching band. So
Wow.
it's like I don't know how I did it up until college. Up until I graduated from college, I was doing singing
A lot.
and school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marching
Yeah.
band. What does one do in a marching band?
I was percussion, so I was playing the drums.
The drums. Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. There's that movie about the drums.
Drumline?
Drumline. Yeah, it was
We
really
weren't
cool.
that good.
No?
No.
Did you have any feeling of that kind of...
Oh, we thought,
Unity?
we
Yeah.
wished we were like that. That was right around the time when we were in like middle school. So it was like hot. Everyone was like, oh, drumline, but we suck. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's
I've never
fun,
done
though.
anything like that. I'm so
Fun.
unmusical, it's not even funny. Like, you take me to karaoke, it's like, Nick, please don't take the microphone. It's like, please just don't. That's how bad I am at singing.
It's all about having fun, though. As long
Yeah.
as that person's having fun.
Yeah, but that's until you hear me sing. But how did you get into singing? I mean, you just thought like you wake up one day and say, I'm going to be a singer.
Kind of. No. My mom sings. My dad was in a band. My mom was singing before I was born, so automatically my family, it was just always music in the house. And yeah, my mom was friends with this production company guy, and he would make like commercial jingles and stuff. And he was like, "Oh, Sincere's my mom's name. We need like a kid's voice, so can we borrow Crystal?"
Oh, wow.
So that's how it started when I was 4. That was my first job.
4.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even know kids could sing that young.
I was pretty good.
Yeah?
You can find it on YouTube. It was for a game.
Oh, really? Do you remember what you
PC
sang?
Engine Duo.
Yeah?
PC Engine Duo ってやつで.
Oh.
That was my first job. And then I just kind of continued doing a lot of commercial jingles. And then when I was 11 or 12, I did one for A&A and Vitamin Water.
Mm. I
And
remember
those
Vitamin
two
Water.
got
Yeah.
a lot of calls. So the Vitamin Water one was like, 空に飛ぶ雲、草に吹く風、花に降る雨、何飲もうかな、ビタミンウォーターってやつ。
はいはいはい。
で、that got a lot of calls, and then we're like, okay, let's turn that into a full song. And that was my debut single,
Wow.
Eternal Memories. Still
Eternal
my
Memories.
favorite. Yeah.
That's really cool. I know you from another song. You got this hit song that was
What?
like, what is the one?
What is it?
I'm just throwing a blank out here. I can't
恋に
remember.
落ちたら
で違うだ。なんかすごいこうクリスタル系でイコールこれ。There this that one
恋に
song.
落ちたらじゃない
多分それね。
心からってや
Yes,
つでし
yeah,
ょ
kokoro kara,
Yeah,
yeah. And so when that hit the market, right? And then so that must have been like a massive turning point in your career, right?
That was, and I don't necessarily, I wasn't that happy.
No? Why?
Like now I've come to terms with that song and I love that song and I think it's an amazing song. But back then I was like 19. So I debuted when I was 13. And when I started, my sound was mainly R&B. Yeah, R&B pop, but more on the R&B side. And that was right at 1999, right around when Garu-chan came out and like Misha and R&B and hip hop was becoming mainstream.
Yeah.
So that was my thing. And then that song, thankfully it was the drama theme song.
Yeah.
And that's when people were like, oh, Crystal K. But for me, that song is very, very J-pop, like kira kira, bubblegum pop.
Right.
So I didn't know how to kind of not accept it, but it didn't feel as natural to me. So I'm like struggling on how I can incorporate my R&B vibe with this very, very J-pop track. But people loved it.
Yeah. It was
And
a
so
huge
it was
hit.
kind of like an internal struggle because from that song, the label obviously wants to continue to push that sound.
Right.
And the new fans know me from that. So they're looking for that kind of sound.
Right.
And so for single releases, it has to be like very J-poppy. And so I would have to balance like what I prefer, which was more R&B,
Yeah.
and like balance that out in the albums. So that was kind of like a struggle. I didn't really know how to kind of just mix the two. But now I finally came to term with the fact that it's like, okay, this sound is like, I'm probably the only one that can do this
Yeah.
J-pop sound. So I was like, I own it. Like,
Yeah. I would totally own it. Why not? I think it's a great song also. But I mean,
it's a great song.
so the question here then comes naturally. It's like, so do you don't write your own music? Or
I do.
You do?
That one I didn't.
Okay.
I do sometimes. I co-write. I write. Yeah, it depends.
Okay. I saw you when you were kind of like thinking back on that song. You were kind of closing your eyes and like it looked like you were feeling like that song again and trying to like remember the emotions when you were talking about it. What is music for you? I mean, because
What is
I'm not a
music?
musical person, so I would like to understand what music is for a musician.
Music is like, I mean, as corny as this sounds, music is like breathing. I don't know what I would do without, maybe like 2-3 times a year, I ask myself, what would I be doing if I wasn't singing?
Hmm.
And I'm like, nah. It's music for me. I don't know. I guess it's so natural that I never really think about it that way. It's like, I can't live without it. And I think I just love to see people have fun or like being entertained. I love entertaining people. And I
Yeah.
think I've always loved that from when I was a kid. I was always the one that was entertaining, like singing or dancing at barbecues and get-togethers and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a hobby. It's a dream job. It's my passion. And I feel like it's my, I don't know, shime. What would that be?
That would be like your destiny?
Destiny.
Yeah. Like
And I
this-
feel like more and more of that, especially this past year. Like last year when COVID hit, all of our shows got canceled.
Yeah.
Like everyone's livelihoods were on the line. I'm sure everyone around the world, every performer around the world, everyone that's working in the industry. And it really was, I don't know, like for the first time I felt very
afraid, kind of.
afraid. And also, what would the word be for this?
危機感ってなんだろう?
危機感,
危機感どう
not
ですか? How do you say
danger.
that?
I
Not
guess
danger,
like,
but something like that, right? It's
yeah,
like
but something like that, like danger,
fearful,
fear, or
like nervous,
insecure,
yeah.
nervous.
Not knowing what's to come.
Yeah,
how you
yeah,
gonna
uncertain,
overcome it. How does
like
one
a
survive
huge
this, right?
uncertainty.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like we're just staying home and it's like, I'm sure everyone became an alcoholic at one point. And like a blob, like just eating whatever. And I had a musical plan too. Like I was going to do Hairspray
Right. I heard about
in
this.
June.
Nice.
So that was like my one hope. But then even that got canceled. So I was like,
And there's
wow.
no way
okay.
to do that, like in an online kind of performing version. No, it has to be stage. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, wow, okay. I'm like, I don't have a job right now.
Right.
And through that, what we like entertainers could do was just to sing from home or do like stay at home concerts or come together with other performers and other musical actors. And we made a video. We put together a video singing a song from Les Mis, the musical, as like a "Ganbatte kudasai" to all the healthcare workers.
Right.
When I did that and I saw the finished product, I was really moved. Like it was like beautiful. And I just realized how powerful music is and how it really can be some kind of hope or
Yeah, definitely. Hope.
source of
Yeah.
power for people.
Yeah.
And the reaction we got from, doctors and healthcare workers, it was like incredible. And they were like, they're out there risking their lives
Yeah.
every day, not sleeping. And they're like, you don't know how much this means to us. Like, thank you so much for doing this. And I was like, that kind of reconfirmed that this is my destiny. Like, this is the one thing I can do that can be maybe of help for people. And so, yeah, this past year has like kind of reignited that feeling for me.
That's really awesome. But I mean, music, like for me, when I hear certain songs, for example, they can like instantly take me back to like a part of my life was like for example, completely random why it popped into my mind. I don't know, but U2 songs, for example, With or Without You or stuff like that. When I hear that, I'm like a 15-year-old kid, just screaming at the album with my friends, and having beer when we're not supposed to have beer. But I just see it. And
the
it really
power
does.
of it taking you back like that and also bringing people together.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's crazy.
It
like,
really is.
Language is a non-issue. Like, it's literally borderless.
It really is.
It's pretty amazing.
Like, so music for me, for example, I just got engaged recently.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. She has the ugliest engagement
You're going to
ring ever.
upgrade it, right?
Eventually, yeah. That's it. No, but there's a story behind this. Right?
Okay.
So when I saw all the rings, because she does Spartan races and stuff like that, it's really cool. So I saw all the rings and I was like, then have all these small diamonds sticking out here and there, and I was like, she's gonna mess these rings up. And then there was only one of them that had like the little diamond, but encased inside the ring.
Oh my God! So you just decided that she's gonna mess it up?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I hadn't, a hunch that she might mess it up. So in case I got one that was like, encapsulated or whatever you call it, like inside the ring, then she probably wouldn't lose the diamond, which would be cool, right?
Oh God.
All right. So she saw it and she's like, what the hell is this?
She's right.
She's so disappointed. She's like, but I wanted a real diamond. I said, but there's a diamond. It's inside.
Oh no, Nick, no.
2 days later, she's at the bathhouse with all her sisters and they're going to this, public bathhouse. And then everyone's like, oh, taking their rings off and stuff. And she's like, I don't have to take it off. But yeah, it's kind of cool. Anyway, I was saying, so when we wasn't talking about the engagement ring, got nothing to do with the conversation. We was talking about music, right?
Oh God.
So for example, music for me, right? So when I first met her, when you get to learn meet someone for new, you want to know what kind of music they like. You want to know what kind of like movies they like, and do you share the same food, and do you have passion for fitness and stuff like that. Whatever. So we spent a lot of time like listening to a lot of different music, and it was really cool that we found songs that we could really both connect to. And then she's also half Colombian, half American.
Ooh.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that Spanish music that I really have no exposure to.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you better get on it.
Right?
Yeah.
So I just found out recently there's something called bachata.
Yeah, the dance.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you dance and sing and everything, but tell me about dancing, for example. I mean, just because you can sing doesn't mean you can dance, right? I know you can dance because I've seen you dance.
I just like it. I've never had like any classical training or ballet, jazz, or anything like that, which I regret. Because ballet really gives you like the foundation, like your core.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just love to dance, and I would just always incorporate that in my shows and my music videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a set, man. It like comes together.
Right.
Like you have to dance.
Well, I mean, for you, that seems natural, and I've seen you perform several times, so I know how good you are on stage and everything, and it makes sense, right? But you look at someone like Bruce Springsteen, for example, he can't dance.
But he has his own swag.
But that's not dancing.
Really? How does he dance?
He just shakes his bum, basically.
But like, もう様になってるじゃん。
まあ、でもそれ Bruce Springsteen だから. It's because it's the boss, right? So he gets away with murder on that one, I feel. I'm a huge fan, by the way, don't get me wrong. I love the king. I mean, the boss. But so music and dancing. So I have a really specific question here, right?
Okay.
Because if you're dancing around and singing at the same time, what happens when you get out of breath? Like, how much of this is actually really singing, or is it overlapped or dubbed, or what is it?
Oh, I never lip synced in my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Never.
Now that is impressive.
Ever.
So what do you feel about Milli Vanilli?
Whatever. Whatever. I mean, for some people, it's their jam, I guess. But, it's not, I'm not against it because sometimes it's not possible.
Right.
Like, sometimes you need some help.
Right.
So if it's done well, I don't see an issue with it.
Yeah.
Now, if you start becoming dependent on it, that takes away from people paying to come see you live.
Right.
And, experiencing the whole live thing. So I guess to each their own, but me personally, I would never lip sync.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, I'd be out of breath too, but I play it off really good.
Wow. So is that like, so you choreograph or what is these? I mean, they must be choreographed movements, right? For specific songs.
Yeah.
And so they must be like done in a way that you don't get out of breath.
I think there's no way around it really.
No?
I think it's just, you have to be fit.
Yeah.
You have to be fit and also comfortable enough with that song so you can find your own pockets where you can kind of take a second to breathe or to calm yourself down.
Right.
Without compromising your performance. Because when it's fresh, like you're still it's not in your body yet. So I think you're nervous and you're not used to it. So then you're over, exhausting, overthinking it, and you're probably not calculating,
right?
Like you're breathing and you're singing and stuff. But the more you get used to the song and the dance, like I have to like senbon-noku, like do it until I don't have to even like stop and think about it.
Right. Do you remember all your songs?
I mean, like, no. Like older songs, you have to revisit them and they'll come back.
Yeah.
But
the only thing I can kind of relate this to is like doing a karate.
Karate no are desho?
Yeah.
Kata desho?
So you do the set forms, right? So there's like 22 of them, specific ones in the style that I used to, kyokushin, which were like done thousands and thousands of times. And I could probably do them right now if I tried to.
Yeah.
But I haven't done karate in like 15 years.
So.
Yeah, but but music, right? Because there's a different emotional attachment to music, right? And then also when you're moving, it's like how many of your other senses are involved when you're performing? Like,
I don't even know.
Smell, like touch, like because talking about Yokohama before, right? I just remember this. I used to shoot a show on FM Yokohama. I used to host a show for a year and a half down there. Yeah, it was called Joyride.
Okay.
With Nicholas Pettis. And so I interviewed a guest on the show that one time who's a Formula One driver.
Oh, wow.
And so we were talking about...
Oh, that must be a good thing to talk about, like your senses.
The senses, right? So we were talking about there's this moment of excellence. Like you get into this zone. Like, but how do you really hone into that zone? Because for him, it was like, well, he has been in the ultimate zone where every corner and him and the machine and the asphalt and the smell and the heat and like everything was switched on. Like everything was switched on. He was just like, he just owned it. And he said it was the best race he's ever done. But it comes very rarely. Have you felt this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
There's always that moment when it's like you're on a roll. Your voice, your stamina, just the vibe and the crowd and the band is like doing a great job.
Yeah.
That the everything's on like this level, like everything is more together.
Does it feel like nothing can go wrong in that moment? Oh yeah.
It's usually when your body's not 100 or like you're injured or you're something's off or wrong.
Yeah.
If I'm not feeling too well, I guess subconsciously you're trying to save energy,
Oh yeah.
逆に you're very calm.
Right. Because you have to be more switched on, right?
Yeah. And usually those times, the show's like amazing.
Wow, that's
It's
really
kind of
incredible,
crazy.
actually.
Yeah, I remember one time I had a panic attack, like a kwakokyu,
Mm.
and I had to go off stage. No, I didn't stop the show or anything.
Mm.
I finished the song and I was like, I need a
Bag,
a
something
bag.
to breathe into, right? Apparently,
And then
it's
they're like, no, like we can just cut the songs and like, cut it short. And I was like, no, let's do this. But nobody knew what was going on.
hyperventilating.
Yeah, hyperventilating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a moment, a period where I had a panic.
Mm.
Maybe I wouldn't go as far as panic disorder, but like anxiety kind of thing. And that came from ear monitors.
Ear monitors, like the small
Yeah.
things you put in the ears and dance with and
Yeah.
sing with. Oh,
So a lot of people use ear monitors. It's specifically, I guess, to be able to hear your voice and the track or whatever band or whatever. Or like if you're at a venue that you need it because it's gonna, 回る, go. So you have to use it, like Tokyo Dome とかさ,
oh,
like stadiums and
wow.
stuff like that. And I was using my ear monitors, and when you use that, it shuts out the outside world from
Right.
you.
Claustrophobic, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. So it's like I only hear my voice, but I don't hear the crowd's voice, and I can't feel the atmosphere and the vibe.
Yeah.
And then I just started going in my head. I'm like, why are they looking at me like that? Like, am I singing? Am I off? Like, and my singing just went like downhill. And I couldn't, my performance was shit. Like, and I was like, oh my God, what is going on? And that kind of led to other areas. Like I would get a little anxiety when I'm on the plane and stuff like that. And I think a lot of people struggle with anxiety issues. How I didn't take meds or anything like that. I just decided I'm going to quit using ear monitors.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And I'm going to force myself to be able to sing in any kind of environment using a foot monitor.
Mm.
And
Those are the ones that.
Yeah, monitors.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
yeah.
I thought you called.
And
them
I got
speakers.
over it.
Oh, that's great. I mean, that's great. Right?
Thankfully.
Yeah.
So yeah, the mind is like, you make up some bullshit in your head and there's no problem with you. But
Right.
yeah, the mind is such a strong thing. Yeah.
The mind really is
The psyche.
incredible.
Yeah.
So I've had one moment of absolute pure, like being in the zone.
Mm-hmm.
It was in 2001, and it was in the final against Musashi in the Japanese championship title. So I had an injury. I had a torn muscle in my hamstring, not like ripped, but like partially torn. So every time I would like run or step or stand
It
single
would
leg,
tear more.
it would tear slightly a little bit more. And so I went through a whole tournament with this torn muscle in my hamstring. And I just remember, like, because I was so scared of this, I had to like switch on everything. And I was just like struggling to get through the first two fights. I got up into the final, and then everything just, I don't know, something flipped.
Oh.
Everything just felt right. I was in the crowd and me, we were like in sync almost. And then I just knew it didn't matter what he did today, I was going to win. And so we fight the first 3 rounds, and it's just like, I wasn't even like nervous about it. I knew it was going to be a draw.
Wow.
I was like completely calm about it. My corner's yelling at me, going, "Nick, you got to do this, got to do that. You know, the fight's you got to win. This is the last round." Listen, I was like, I didn't really hear them. I was going to the second round, into the first extension. I had a game plan. I knew that if I got him into the extension, it's just like, once I hit him, just keep hitting him until he falls. And so there was like 30 seconds left of that round or whatever, and then I got him with one hand, and it's just like, that's it. Just let it go. And then after the fight, I was like, okay, that's what the zone is all about. Because I had studied this. I'd read up on it and really studied about what is it that it takes to get this athletes into ultimate performance modes, right? And I'd done mental drills on it and everything, and really, really practiced it. But when it all came together, it wasn't the time when I thought it would come together. It's like, it just happened. So yeah, it was magical. Yeah, it was really magical.
it's just like you get there and you're like, oh, okay. And then you ride it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nothing goes wrong.
No.
Anything could happen, but just you can handle that situation. Very
네.
beautiful.
Yeah, that is a place where I think a lot of people wish they could tune into. Like,
All right. So this is going to be a little bit hard question. So you get to that state, right?
mm,
And then the show's over. You know, the makeup is off. You're on your way home. I mean, how does one come down from a high like that?
we don't.
Right?
No. I don't think you can come down until you go to sleep, or I don't know, even the next day it's probably still there. Usually musicians, because we are so like, you know, our adrenaline and our high from a good performance is just nonstop. We want to celebrate it together, so we drink
Yeah.
afterwards and you know, share the moments and all those you know, あ、ここよかったね、ここいいよねみたいな. Yeah, I don't think it really goes down until like the next day.
Yeah. I mean, I can remember I could not fall asleep after a fight. It's just like party on.
そうだよね.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of stupid nights after fights, I'll tell you that.
I bet.
Yeah. But so you're still performing. You're in your mid 30s. And then for me, in my mid to late 30s, my hips were wearing out. And so fighting was taken out of the equation. If I couldn't fight, I didn't want to train. If I didn't want to train, it's like then I went on this spiral going downwards, downward. And then fitness and everything was shot out of the window. And I became a massive alcoholic for many years. And I was like, I could see why that happened. That I could see also, but it was also personal relationships and stuff like that involved in it. But even then, it took me, I would say, a good 6, 7 years to realize that there's other things I can do with my life than just become a fat old drunk, to be honest. And so I kind of reinvented myself with CrossFit. So when I got the call from Zach, who's a mutual friend.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, Nick, who wants you to come in and talk about CrossFit? I want to introduce you to Crystal. So this is how we met.
So, God.
Yeah. So it's the first time we met at Reebok's office.
Wow. That was like, what, 12 years ago or something?
Yeah, it was in
Something like that.
2010, I think.
9
or 10. I think it's 10, actually. Yeah.
Wow.
And why did they call you? This is one I really want to know.
I don't know.
Like, how was your career at that time? Because I'll tell you why they called me. They're like, Nick, you're out of shape. You're not even fighting. You're a washed up drunk basically, and CrossFit's going to change your life, and we're going to make this success story out of you. How do you feel about that? And I was like, what's CrossFit? I was literally, what is CrossFit? I've never heard of it.
Oh man, I'm trying to remember. I think my then manager was friends with someone in Reebok, and the CrossFit thing, I heard about it, and I like to work out.
Yeah.
I like fitness. So I was like, yeah, cool. Why not?
Cool.
I think that's how it started.
That's it. That was a really simplified story there. I was hoping for some more juicy details of like, it was going to save your career or something.
No, I don't think so.
Not like that. Okay.
No.
Tell us about fitness. So what is fitness for you? I mean, what is your definition
My definition of fitness? I don't know. It's something that makes me feel good and keeps me happy with myself and my body, I guess. I think fitness, like the meaning behind it, like changes as you get older.
Interesting. I'm into sustainable fitness now.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a new thing for
about
me.
That.
Well, train, eat, sleep, basically. Those are the 3 pillars of it. Yeah. So like if you get your workouts done, like for example, for me, I mean, CrossFit, so there's a lot of lifting, and if you get barbells, get heavy lifting and stuff like that. I don't like heavy lifting because of my replaced hips and stuff, and I don't need it. I don't like high volume of it, so I don't do the heavy lifting anymore. And then there's apart from the training, then there's the eating. What are you eating? Are you eating proper foods? Are you getting enough sleep? These are 3 questions I would like to ask you. How do you view that? How's your training? What kind of training do you like to do? What do you think about your nutrition? And are you sleeping enough?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think for me, 6.5 hours is good.
Wow. That's not a lot.
What's good? Like 7 to 8 hours?
Yeah, at least 7, 8 hours in a pitch black room, preferably with some really cool.
Yeah, 6.5
sleep
or
music.
7 hours is good for me.
Yeah.
I do intermittent fasting
Oh, cool.
daily,
Okay.
16 hours.
Yeah.
And I've learned that that works best for my body.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't eat breakfast. I only eat lunch and dinner. And a lot of vegetables.
Yeah.
Protein. If I do eat rice, it's genmai.
Brown rice.
Yeah. I guess like I've kind of trained myself like around how much calorie intake like daily. My BMI is like 1,500. And I guess I intake maybe about 1,200.
Wow. That's not a lot of food. Yeah.
And I don't know. I finally came to a place where I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that.
Right.
I love food. I love to eat. So it used to be I trained to eat.
Yeah, a lot of people make that mistake.
But now I'm starting to understand really like what my body wants, like what I want to eat. And if I want to eat, if I kind of feel like eating a lot today, I'll just do that for lunch and balance it out and just eat something like a nice little salad and tofu or some nice soup to kind of settle my stomach at night. And I really learned that just not eating right before you sleep.
Yeah, absolutely.
The way to go.
That's like the worst ever.
That's the worst thing you could do, right?
What happens when you eat before you go to bed? Like, how do you feel the next day? Because it must impact you on the next day.
Yeah, I mean, the older we get, like you feel how slow, like your body, like clearly it's not digested.
Yeah, I just want to point out I'm 48.
Wow.
So
you got younger.
What?
Yeah, you look younger and younger.
I think it's the beard.
I think it's just like your full, like your health and where you're at. You're probably really happy. And
yeah, cool. People tell me this actually.
Yeah, you're glowing.
Cool. Well, I'm still in love. Yay!
So yeah, I'm really happy. I'm finally starting to have like a routine. I feel like an adult now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the working out I do maybe about 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And because I have a lot of stamina, I can endure like hardcore workouts and like CrossFit and stuff like that. But I realized that I have a lot of muscle mass.
Yeah.
So I can easily build muscle.
Yeah.
So I don't do weights or anything. It's mainly just body weight and stretch because I want to be lean.
Right.
So I just do body weight.
What does lean mean for you? What is
For me,
what is the ideal look that you would like to have?
now.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I'm in a good place right now.
Oh, cool. Yeah. You look happy. That's for sure. You're very beautiful too. So
Thank you.
kudos on that.
I'm single though.
What? Sorry.
It's okay. Lean, I guess, is like nice definition.
Yeah.
Tone. You can see cuts a little bit.
I've seen you've had abs before, like ripped. Which is kind of cool. I was like, holy shit, she really got in shape for, I can't remember where it was. There was something you did. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's still there.
Cool.
So yeah, just being like nice and like nansuno. Like, I'm never going to be like super skinny, which I'm not trying to.
Right.
But I do have my own image where I can look good from all angles.
Nice.
Like camera wise.
Right.
And a weight, like a specific weight. So yeah, I guess a little bit of like muscle definition.
So you're 35 now, right?
35, yeah.
So at 35, you feel you've finally found this balance in life, right?
Yeah.
Think of all the women out there struggling with this. Think of guys. I'll tell you something, honestly, hands down. And you can see my diaries from 15 years ago, how much I hate myself. And I'm like writing down how much I'm weighing, what I'm eating, how much sleeping, and it's just like all this stress about it was this and that, and it's like I sound like a 14-year-old high school girl. Like really like with an eating disorder, right?
Yeah.
But even for guys, because I used to fight, in a pair of shorts, and it's like I had my upper body should be naked, so it's just really weird for me to stand in front of people and not feel comfortable in my own body. And so I understand these struggles. And I've come to a realization, I'd say actually over the last year, where I was like, you know what? No, I don't have to be fitter than the people I'm teaching. I don't have to be in better shape. I don't have to look in a certain way. As long as I know what fitness for me is. And then when it's like, it's something I can enjoy doing. And it's a balance of volume, not doing too much. Because when I do too much, I hurt. Like instantly my body just says, okay, that was not good, Nick. And then I'm in pain for like weeks at a time. And it's because I've replaced hips, or replaced hips. And so I came to the realization that if it's a feeling that I'm trying to cultivate, what do I not just try and accept myself for exactly who I am? And I'm telling you, like falling in love with the right person has changed that for me too. Like just being loved for who you are. This is because we're in Japan, and we're gonna come in and talk deep on this, right? Because you're half, my kids are half. So like, what does that word even mean? In Japan, you're called half. How do you feel when you hear the word half?
I mean, I grew up with the word half, so it doesn't really bother me. But I guess now, like, there's like a PC way of saying it. I don't know.
I don't know.
Like double. But I was like, what is double?
Yeah.
Right? Have you heard double? Like people say double,
recently,
right?
Yeah, I think it's double.
It's weird. Mix? I don't know. Like,
because when my kids were young and stuff like that, and, and the first thing that the reaction for the Japanese when they see it is like, oh, hafu, and I used to say, fudu. Like, no, they're full. They're not half. They're full.
But are they full though?
Yeah, they're full human beings, right?
Yeah, full human beings. I guess just like from like a ethnicity, ethnic point of view. So it doesn't really bother me, the word. I don't think there's like a proper way of defining us mixed kids.
Well, mixed, right? I mean, but I'm mixed. My dad was Greek American. My mom's Danish. That's also a mix. That's also half.
Yeah.
Like, I think the whole world is somewhere,
Oh, yeah. Like in the next 10 years, like the whole world's going to be brown.
Cool.
Some people are really shook about that, but
no, that's cool.
No, that's cool. But like so many people is still caught up in that
little. I have no idea how much I struggle to try and get a suntan every year. It's the worst, like for real. I just get like red and like burnt, and then it all peels off. It's horrible.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I am allergic to the sun.
No.
Yeah,
really?
I look like the last person. Like I look like a summer ass girl, right? No.
You look like you could just frolic on the beach all the time. Oh wow!
Heat rash from direct sunlight.
Wow. So what does that do? So you have to like.
No, I got to be like covered, or like I'm that auntie that's always in the shade.
With the big ass hat.
Yeah,
on.
with the big ass hat or a towel is covering me. Yeah.
Wow. I was in Ishigaki recently, and like on the first day we were out doing like the 4-wheeler buggies, like driving around for like 2 hours, right?
Oh my god,
sun,
I would die. If
so
I did that.
I just I wore like a full on like suit.
Yeah. Smart. Yeah.
And then a hat.
Yeah.
So I was okay that day, but yeah. Wow, interesting. How does that impact you as a kid growing up? Because then, what does that mean? When did you find out?
No, that just all of a sudden it happened when I was 18.
Oh.
I was like, what is going on? Because it was ugly, like almost like atopy.
Wow.
Yeah, like eczema, like a mixture of like eczema and like psoriasis.
Uh-huh.
It sucks. There's no way, like, I don't think there's been any explanation or
and
like
it's the
scientific thing. Yeah, it's sunlight. It's weird.
So I've had this skin rash. I remember very vividly. It started in my 20s after coming to Japan.
I think I remember like when we were doing CrossFit together.
Because people always ask me.
I think that's psoriasis, no?
It started in my 20s, and I'm in my late 40s now. And so recently I went to see a skin doctor in the hope that maybe there's this magic new medicine, because I haven't been really taking care of it for a long, long, long time. And so I used to have it all over my arms. And on my legs and stuff. And I got this medicine, it's like steroid medicine basically. And it cleared it up.
Yeah.
I was like,
steroids.
I have never had like skin, not never, like since my 20s, like the skin on my arms, for example, it feels and it looks like normal skin. I had a huge, like, how do you say, like, complex? Or? What is it called? Complex? Yeah. About it. It's just like, I felt so horrible. And then like 2 weeks later, it's like all cleared up. I was like, whoa.
Steroids.
So when you found out about your skin rash, and how did you realize that it was the sun?
Because every time I get direct sunlight, that area would get all red and bumpy and then itchy. Yeah.
And so then you just learn how to protect yourself, and that's it. So
sucks.
what is that called? So SP50 kind of cream, does that work?
SPF doesn't work.
No?
Yeah, it's not about sunscreen. I don't know why, but there's like a drinking tablet, like a pill
Yeah.
that I guess blocks your melanin or something like that.
Wow.
And I've learned that works. That helps.
Oh, so you can
It
be
doesn't
frolicking on the beach.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried it. Like I had a wedding to go to in Australia, and that's like the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
ozone layer holes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I just said, it's so nice. F it. I want to be in the ocean.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this tablet and put on SPF anyway. And it like lessened the damage.
Cool.
That was kind of cool.
I saw this vampire movie one time where they figured out, I'm serious, it's funny, right? No, but it's like, then they just covered themselves in this cream, right? And then they were walking around in daylight and stuff. I thought it was kind of cheesy.
I wish that happened to me.
Sunblock. Hey, it's a start, right?
But we were talking about mixed kids.
Yes, we're talking about these kids, yeah. And so my kids had a lot of trouble in school when they grew up. They went to Japanese normal school, so they got teased a lot, and it was really kind of rough on them.
Japanese school. Yeah. I did a summer experience kind of thing, and it sucked.
What kind of summer experience are we
Like
talking about?
taiken yugaku.
In a Japanese school?
Yeah, in a Japanese school.
How long did it go on for?
I think it was like, I don't know, it felt like forever, but I think it was like a month. And it sucked. I hated it.
How old were you then?
I think I was like 8 or 9. I had one friend. She was Chinese.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, kids are cruel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I think I was like the only half black kid doing that in like that little program.
Yeah.
So, they're just like, oh, you're dark, whatever, whatever. But kids don't know better. So yeah, that sucked. But I don't know. I guess like back in the day when I was a kid, there were barely any half black, half Korean kids.
Right.
There were half black, half Japanese kids, more half white, half Japanese kids. But I didn't know the difference between Japanese and Korean.
Right.
But I guess I had like a complex too, like an identity crisis kind of thing. And being in Japan, I don't think people really dig into that kind of issue. Like, where do I come from? What's my heritage kind of thing? Because, I mean, it's a homogenous society. So, but then in the States, people are so curious and keen and have like a very strong sense of their identity.
Right.
I didn't really have that, or I didn't really have I don't know. I guess I wasn't really curious, or I didn't know what questions to ask. So I kind of had that weird complex, I think, in me. And then I grew up, and then I became a singer. So that just kind of like, I kind of shoved it back, like,
But
inside.
do you feel, I don't know how to say this. Because if I ask my kids, are they Danish or are they Japanese? I guarantee you they'll say they're Japanese. They're born and raised here. They've only visited Denmark. They don't feel very Danish. After the divorce, obviously we didn't spend as much time with them. So now their English is like shot. It's gone.
Oh.
Yeah. And so the two youngest ones, like they can't speak, but they can kind of understand when you speak to them. And the oldest one, she tries a little bit more, but it's just like, oh my God, you guys, like seriously. But do you feel accepted or do you feel not accepted here? Is there this moment? Are there times? This is what I'm trying to look for. Is there times in life where you're like, "Whoa, okay, that was weird," because everyone knows you. You're a celebrity, and so it's just like it's obviously they know you grew up here and that you're Crystal K, right? You're like an icon here in Japan. So how does that feel? Are there like things you want to talk about there?
I guess I feel accepted. I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that. But I still feel like there are bits and pieces of like, they still consider me as, I mean, I am not Japanese. I have no Japanese blood in me.
Yeah.
So, and I look very foreign.
Yeah.
So I think people categorize me as like a gaikokujin.
Oh.
I think only because I'm a singer here and I've been a singer here for a long time, I am accepted.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Do you feel, this is going to be a really hard, cutthroat question there. Do you feel as a performing artist here in Japan that you are treated differently than like the Japanese in your industry?
You mean like in a negative way?
Well, either positive or negative way.
Actually, no, I don't feel,
No?
no.
That's cool. Because I've seen both sides of the coin. There are times when like, Nicolas Pedas, you're Japanese. Like, I'm Nihonjin. And then I've had the complete different version where like, no. And there has been like severe like treatments where I've been like, okay, that's just not fair. Like
There's a lot of levels, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I think when they get to know me on like a personal level or like talk shows and stuff, when I get to display more of my personality,
Yeah.
they're like, oh my God, you're so Japanese, which I agree. I think, being born and raised here,
Yeah.
I have a lot of Japanese tendencies.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very Japanese. But because I have the ability to kind of understand the cultural differences,
Yeah.
and I speak English, I can have like a more Western kind of way of viewing things, or like, nandaron na. It's interesting. Like, there's a mix of a lot of things, I think.
Do you think in Japanese or English? Mostly because it's like when we're talking in English here, it's like sometimes the Japanese words that pop out of your mouth come way more natural than the English stuff comes to. So I've been here for 30 years, right? I came here when I was 18, and I've found some strange behavior of myself recently. I'll wake up and like the first thing I'll say is like, I'll speak in Japanese, thinking that I'm speaking English. So I'm like literally saying, what time is it? Or, good morning. But I was saying that in Japanese going, and then I like catch myself and say, why am I speaking Japanese right now? I just wake up out of a dream and the first thing is Japanese. So it's kind of a funny question, right? Because you're bilingual. Are you only bilingual or trilingual?
I'm bilingual, but with alcohol, I can speak anything.
I think we can all speak anything when we get alcohol. Dumbfounded media, can we get some beers, please?
No, that doesn't work.
No, don't ruin it. No.
People always ask me that question, like, do you dream in English or Japanese? Or I don't have an answer. Like, it depends on who I'm talking to.
Right.
Like right now, I'm talking to you, but I know that you understand Japanese.
Yeah.
So I will comfortably be like, yo, what's that word in Japanese?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like in
Yeah,
Japanese, right? Yeah, I'll do that. But I don't know. I think my brain just kind of shifts to whatever situation or whoever I'm talking to.
So I had a very profound talk with Bob Sapp like many years ago. And so he's a very good friend. And so I used to train him.
He looks like my dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Your dad must be huge then, because that man's
he's not
a
that
monster.
tall, but he's like a teddy bear. Oh, he's so cute, Bob.
Bob's huge, huge. Anyway, really nice guy.
Yeah,
I really love
super
him.
nice, yeah.
We really get along really well. I spent a lot of time with him. Anyway, so he started to learn hypnose.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he literally like studied it, went to school, learned how to hypnotize people. And so he says that the human brain, it does not think in words. It thinks in pictures. And this is how you can trick the mind into like hypnotizing people, right? So there's these skills where they go sleep, done, and then you're done, right?
Yeah.
And then there's other ones that take longer where you're like, talking people through it. But he says because the brain works in picture. So if I'm saying it's a beautiful day, you hear it's a beautiful day. So the 5 words, and they all have pictures. So the brain just looks at these pictures. So when you mess around on the order of those, the brain gets confused. In that instant, you can snap people out of it. And I thought it was a really interesting conversation to have. I was like, wow, I kind of really want to learn that.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Does your personality change when you speak Japanese? Because mine does.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe a little bit.
I become this old karate guy.
I become an oji-san.
マジで?
Yeah. It's interesting what language does to you
Yeah.
and your behavior.
I have a theory. I think it's because with a language comes a culture.
Yeah.
The Japanese culture I was like bred into was martial arts. And so I literally talk like a martial arts artist. That's it. Like talk like a karate guy. But in English, which again is not necessarily, my dad was American, so we spoke English, and then my mom was Danish, so we spoke Danish to her. So when I was a kid, we grew up with two languages. And then they split apart and he passed away. And so I grew up in Denmark from about 3 to 18. And from there on, it was just basically Danish, right? But so I have 3 different personalities because it's 3 different cultures. And it's really like the English, that's why I said, when we spoke earlier, I said, like, I think I have something called Niglish. Because it's like 3 languages that were never fully developed.
So
Like I'll say something in English, and my fiance, she'd be like, "Oh, that's not how you say it. Like, how do you say the word? Is it hindsight or is it hindsight?"
Hindsight.
Well, see, that's one of those words
Hindsight, yeah.
that I found in a book somewhere, and I was like, okay, this is how you think you say it. I have a lot of words that I don't know how to pronounce.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very Japanese when I'm speaking Japanese.
そうね.
I can be very American. And I do understand like the Korean vibe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've actually met your mom. She's super cool.
Yeah.
She's really cool.
She's cool.
She's got that. I don't know. It's like you also have this like, I don't know. Because I find I feel like I'm a little bit like a bumblebee most of the time. I was like buzzing all over.
Bumblebee? Yeah, you are a bumblebee.
Right? But you got this like laid back, like it's like one step down from that. It's like it's a chill vibe going on all the time. It's really cool. But so we never got on to talking about the being a celebrity. And so everything changes after this one song. You're struggling with, accepting that song because it's not the vibe that you want. And so what happens after that? You had to do like more songs like that. Because I know around the time when I first met you, you were with a manager and being managed by, I don't know the details, but then you...
I was Kojin.
Oh, you're
Because
Kojin.
my mom, yeah.
Okay. So your mom was, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
And then so you're with LDH now, right?
Yeah.
What does that stand for?
Love, dream, and happiness.
That's right. Love, dream, and happiness. LDH. And they're the exiled tribes.
Yeah.
Recently, Crazy Boy Illy and I did like a Reebok show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A
live Instagram show.
He was my back dancer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hilarious. He's so cool.
Did you go to my 10th anniversary?
Don't think I made that one.
Because he was my back dancer then.
That's so funny. Oh, he's a real rap star now.
Yeah, he is.
He rolls up and, bling, bling and everything.
Yeah,
So cool.
It's so funny.
So he's a Reebok short-term ambassador now for the new Reebok shoes. So we did like a live, like just recently.
Oh, cool.
So he did like a workout with me that I led, and then I did a dance workout with him.
Oh, fun.
So I got my hip-hop moves on.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where that conversation was going, but being a celebrity, tell us about this. How is it, and how is the changing from going from your mom's management and into like LDH? Because that's like the top in the industry.
When my mom, we did our own management for maybe about like 7 years, and it's super flexible.
Yeah,
which is great. And we had a good team. And she's a singer, so she knows.
Yeah.
What's best for me. And we worked well, but she was like, you know what? You need to go to a bigger place that can support you, has your back. So she suggested I go to LDH, and it was the right move. Yeah, I'm happy I'm with LDH. Being a celebrity, I think, obviously, we have to be careful because we have to be responsible for our actions. And, I'm 35 now. I'm not going to be drunk in the street or doing some disrespectful stuff. But I'm also not an idol. So I don't think I have as much as a really restricted lifestyle than a typical Japanese idol.
was going to ask that actually. So the difference between an idol and do you consider yourself an idol? So you don't, obviously.
I'm like far from an idol.
Yeah.
What?
No, it's a good question. 'Cause maybe people watching, they don't know what an idol is. An idol is like those are like the AKB48 girls that are total produced by these,
totally
whatever.
Produced. More like
like a fantasy character.
Like a
I would
fantasy
say, yeah.
kind of.
Because they got so many restrictions on being like you
you can't have a
dates,
boyfriend.
you can't drink alcohol, you can't smoke, and there's nothing you can do really.
Yeah.
And then you're being chauffeured around in buses basically from your house to the studio and then back to the house.
Yeah, because they have to give the illusion that they're theirs.
Exactly.
Like,
purely for you.
Purely for you.
For that one fan, but millions of that one fan.
Yeah, but they are loyal as hell.
Oh yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm far from that. So I was gonna answering your other question. Like, do you feel like a difference in and like a treatment?
Yeah.
I think that's an advantage for me.
Okay.
Because they probably see me as like, oh, she's a foreigner.
Oh,
so
okay.
She's doing her own thing.
Cool.
Kind of thing, know?
Yeah, we kind of get away with that being foreigners here.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's cool. But I always wonder, because for me, music has always been borderless. So I always have the world in mind. I always want to tour the world eventually if I have a chance. But it's like once, I'm going to say when I make it worldwide, then my personal life is probably done.
Done, right?
Yeah. So I feel very lucky to be a celebrity in Japan.
Oh, interesting.
In a sense.
Oh, interesting.
Can you imagine the stuff people go through? Like, I mean, paparazzi.
Yeah.
Actually fearing for your life. You know, it's like dangerous. And like also a really interesting thought I had is like the concept of a bodyguard.
Yeah.
Like it's legit necessary to have a bodyguard in the States.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guns, crazy fans, the number of fans, like the scale is like crazy compared to Japan.
Yeah.
Like we don't really have that worry. It's so peaceful. So like if you have a bodyguard, it's like, what the hell you got about? Like you look stupid.
Yeah, that kind of could be cool though.
I mean, but it makes sense for idols because sometimes crazy stuff
that
happens.
idol world. I'm not even going to go into that.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre for me.
So I wonder like the differences of being a celebrity, the celebrity in Japan and the States or the Western countries.
So in the beginning, I kind of said I wanted to ask about relationships and talk about that. And so you said, "Well, I'm single." Unfortunately, but also
cool
fortunately. But so how is that? Because you can date. I mean, how is it having? How do you, for example, I don't know. Can you tell us some episodes from when you've actually been with someone?
Once again,
the pros and the cons kind of thing. It's like what's good about it and what's bad about it.
I don't really have any cons.
No.
The only cons is that I feel like I have no options. In Japan.
Yeah. Okay. So how does one get to meet you, right? That's another thing, right? That's the tough one.
Like I don't have, I welcome all nationalities. Like I don't have like, oh, they have to be white, they have to be black, Japanese. If they have a broad understanding, if they're like worldly, is that a word?
Yeah.
Worldly.
Absolutely. Just ask English.
Open-minded, supportive. Yeah, I'm game. But I think being here and being a singer in Japan, Japanese men will automatically by default be like, oh, that's Crystal K. So it's like, okay, can I trust them?
Yeah.
Do they love me for who I am, or do they just want to get with me because I'm a singer?
You must get a lot of
no, actually,
you don't
direct
messages.
I think Japanese guys are intimidated.
Huh.
That's
Probably.
One thing I feel being a half black, half Korean girl. I don't think they see me as like a romantic.
Oh, interesting.
Thing.
Yeah.
They're intimidated. I think I think Japan has a fetish. Like, no, like seriously.
Yeah.
I'm sure not all of them are interested in black girls, but I think it's very little,
Okay.
limited.
Interesting. But you don't look black. It's like there's a
Yeah, I
very
look
exotic
Asian.
look.
Yeah, but then for a Japanese guy, it's probably very intimidating.
Oh.
And I'm tall
Yeah.
and I look strong.
When I saw you get out of the car today, I was like telling my fiance, "It's like I think she grew." I was like, "She looked really tall." Wow.
Oh, I didn't grow. I stopped growing like when I was in 6th grade. So yeah, there's that, and then also like the foreign community is very small here.
Yeah.
So that's
Kind of
that.
everyone knows everyone.
Yeah. So dating is hard for me here. So the only people I've dated are like schoolmate, like a guy I went to college with, or like someone within the circle or something like that. So we'll see. Apparently I meet my person this year, so.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
good luck with that.
Thanks.
That'd be awesome. I really hope it works out.
Thanks. I'm not sweating it though. Like I'm kind of at a place where I just started my self-love journey.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I think once I master that and
What's a
love
self-love
my
journey?
I don't know, like, because can you be I'm sure you can now because you probably at that good place. Like, can you be like, yo, I love myself?
Well, so this is like, we were just talking about it a little bit early on. It's like, because I'm in love and because I found love and with someone to share my life with in a different way, I'm now able to accept myself
Right?
for who I am because I'm being accepted. And it's just like, I never did that.
Yeah.
I always felt, and this is you probably must, and this is also talking about beauty and all this self-image and how do you feel as a half here in Japan, but it all comes down to that. I always felt like I was a giant. I always felt like the people that were surrounding me, that they wanted me to be smaller, be this, be that. And it's like, I call it, and it's not a very nice way of saying it, but I feel like I went dark for 30 years. As in, I went deep into the Japanese culture as I wanted to be as integrated and as fit as I could be. And I was mostly like completely accepted, and I've not had a lot of bad experiences. I just think they're just human experiences I've had. But I also feel that I took away so much of my identity that I'd lost myself for a long, long, long time because I was trying to be someone I'm not. And then so I really found myself over the last year. That's just what I'm saying. So I think I can understand.
Thanks to her, maybe?
Thanks to her for sure. But it started before her. And that's kind of the reason that when I did meet her.
That's what you were ready to. Yeah, you were ready. Yeah, and I feel that like, you know, always adults would say, oh, you can't love someone else unless you love yourself. And it's like when you're young, you're like, yeah, whatever. But now I finally understand that. Like, because if you can't love yourself and can't accept yourself, like, how are you going to do that for someone else? Like, literally another human being if you can't do that for yourself. So I'm there right now. And I think all of the health and fitness and self-image and my body and being happy with my body, all of that comes into play with this self-love thing. And I think I'm like cultivating it right now.
Cool.
And it's nice. And
it's like
I don't think
super motivating to hear.
Yeah. And
no,
I don't think it's all about, I mean, in your case, well, you were already on your way, and meeting her probably helped and brought out that full self-love in you. So for me, I'd rather, well, right now, like I'm starting to discover this about myself. So I'm cool with being single. And hopefully when I get to a nice place, and I'm sure that's how the universe works, someone's going to pop into my life and help me maybe finish my self-love journey. I don't know. Who knows?
I'm sure, because it's like the power of attraction, the laws of attraction. And they do really work. Like if
it works.
Like if you believe it, and you really invest yourself in things like that, things happen in life for sure.
Like all of that, it sounds like it's like magic and whatever, but it's like pretty literal.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't happen overnight though. It's like one of those things that if you push for it, it won't happen. But if you just keep believing it, and then when it does happen, it's just like, oh yeah, this is exactly why I never gave up on it. This is exactly why I never settled for less than I wanted. And I'm just using my my girl's words, but that's exactly what she said. She said, no, she never settled for less because she knew one day it's going to be the right one. And I feel very fortunate to be that guy because it's making me very happy.
I'm happy for you guys.
Thank you. Why are we talking so much about me? It's like, shut up.
That's
Nick.
you talking about
Yeah,
yourself.
I know. It's true.
Yeah, and I also I started doing this thing where I wake up, or it can be first thing you wake up or when you go to sleep. Just name all the things you're thankful for.
Gratitude.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. What are you grateful for? That's just so powerful.
Yeah. And I've learned that really shifts the way you think. Because it's so easy to be like, oh man, like why is this person doing this and I haven't even gotten there yet. Like I don't have this, I don't have that. But it's like you can shift it like with just one simple mindset. Like, no, I have this. I have these people in my life. Like I'm doing this right now. Shit, I'm grateful. Like what? And that just easily just switches your mindset. And I think being able to do that and master that is like huge.
Yeah.
You can change your day. Like if you had a shitty night, you woke up feeling shitty, just do that. And you can just switch and it becomes a better day. And you throw that out into the universe, it's going to come right back.
Oh, yeah.
So that helps. And also saying stuff out loud, like to yourself, that really helps too.
Saying stuff, like what would you
like
say?
Like what
to
you
yourself?
feel, or like if something's bothering you, or if you're not feeling good and you're wondering what's the issue or whatever, like have a talk with yourself. Say it out loud. That helps. Yeah, like
Affirmation,
verbalizing it. Is that a word?
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds very English.
It makes a difference. I think, yeah, like literally just keeping it inside and, versus throwing it out there. Like you can visualize things. You can bring it to life. So that helps too.
How does a shitty day look for you? Like, I mean, what would happen? What would get you in a shitty mood, for example?
Maybe something like a conversation that went wrong with someone you love or a close friend. And you're like, fuck, what did I say? Did I hurt that person?
Yeah.
Or what did that person mean? Like, what did that mean? Like those kind of things, like relationships, I think it can get complex the older you get. So maybe those kind of things. And then you go to sleep with it worrying, and then you wake up with like a nasty feeling.
So you're not the kind of person that is you sleep and then you wake up and you kind of forgot about it. It carries over.
No, it carries over.
Interesting.
Yeah, it carries over.
I used to just go to bed and sleep and
overthink.
just like forget about it. And it's like I wouldn't remember.
Wow. That's shiawase dane.
No, but I realized it's also some of the things I realized it's because I wasn't invested properly. I just wasn't. Like if I'd been properly invested, I would have been like, yeah, I need to like pay attention to this person that I'm not worried about. But
I tend to overthink sometimes. Yeah.
I carry over these days. Sometimes it's a little bit
You care
intimidating, but I do care.
It's good.
I think we've spoke about some really cool things. I want to go back to talk about your new album.
Thank you.
So, congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Your album, tell us about it. Why is this the best album you've ever done?
Well, it's my first ever cover album.
Oh, okay.
It's all Japanese covers.
Oh.
And I just thought it was a nice timing to do something. Like, to be honest, I was like, I'm never doing covers. Like, maybe like 10 years ago, there was the first boom of cover albums, and everyone was doing it. And I was like, hell no, I'm not doing cover albums.
No.
And I believe a cover is something special. Like, it's not something you constantly do. You do it because it means something to you, or it's like special occasion or whatever it is. So I was like, no, I'm not doing cover album. But I would do, whenever I do, like, I would do acoustic shows called Kuri Cafe. And within that show, I would have like a little section, like a cover corner.
Mm.
And I would do like anison medley,
Yeah.
like anime songs.
Yeah.
And Japanese like Showa no
Yeah.
songs and stuff like that. And I would do like sazae-san, like a super funky sazae-san or like a reggae, like Gegege no Kitaro and stuff. And like the crowd loves it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, wow, they really like me doing covers. And it was around almost my 20th anniversary.
Mm.
I was like, this might be a good timing to do a cover album.
Right.
So yeah. We
Cool.
decided to do it. And
How do you decide the songs on such an
oh
album?
my God. That was a hard process. I was like, what do I sing? So I just asked people on Instagram. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go on social media and ask like, if Crystal K were to release a cover album, what would you guys want to hear?
Right.
And I got tons of songs and requests. And I was like, oh, damn. And I would just get more data from like my label, just ask people in the office and like LDH and what you guys would want to hear. And then we sat together with like 300 songs and went through it. And I was like, you know, these are all really nice songs, but I think we should try singing them.
Right.
Like, because you never know if it
Exactly.
works.
Yeah.
And so I went into the studio with a pianist and we went through the songs. We sang up to the first chorus.
Yeah. Of
And
300 songs.
Maybe like around 100.
Oh, okay.
And then we discovered like, oh, wow, this works. This doesn't. And
Interesting.
99% of my album are male
Singers.
Singers.
Performers. Okay.
Yeah. And that was interesting because, you know, I wanted to do like Utada Hikaru's song and all that stuff. But when I tried singing it, it didn't sound as interesting because I'm a female.
Ah, okay.
So it sounds similar
Right.
unless we really change the arrangements or unless I'm like a jazz vocalist and I
Right.
sound completely different. But it was very similar, and that like people would be like, "Oh, then I would listen to the original," you
Right.
know. And I didn't want that, so yeah, a lot of the male vocalist songs matched my voice and like the very masculine lyrics
Yeah.
and my kind of setsunai, like melancholy voice, I guess, meshed well
Wow.
with the male.
What's the
vocalist.
album called?
I sing.
I Sing. Okay. Cool.
I sang.
I sang. It's done. It's out.
Yeah. So
You can get it on iTunes and stuff.
iTunes,
Oh, cool.
Apple Music,
Apple
Spotify,
Music, Spotify.
yeah,
Nice.
Amazon, all of that.
Yeah.
And it's like heisei,
Hmm.
like the 90s, late 90s, and I have Reiwa songs in there too. I didn't want to make, if I were to do a cover album out of all of the cover albums that are out, I want it to stand out.
Right.
I want it to be like the original singers, like, oh damn, this is kind of better than mine. You know? So I really focused on, of course, putting a lot of respect in the original song, but really focusing on the lyrics and the atmosphere that song has and my voice, those three elements, and not putting too much.
So have you had any feedback from the original artists?
You know what? Like, not yet.
Oh.
Dreams Come True の人たちは they love it and they had a comment. And my friend today messaged me like, Bump of Chicken 知ってる?
Yeah, Bump of Chicken. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess he's friends with the vocal, the lead singer.
Oh.
And he told me he loved it.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, thank you. Because I haven't heard from the others
Wow.
how they think, what they think about the song. So
That's
hopefully they
kinda
love
scary.
it. That's kind of scary. But the reaction from the people that's listening to my album, the fans, it's great so far. So
Cool. So Crystal
I'm
K's
happy.
new album, I
I
Sing,
Sing.
is available.
It's
Please
available.
download it,
check it out.
buy it, and share it with your friends. No,
Thank
don't
you.
get your friends to buy it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy an album. That's for sure. We're gonna buy it and listen to it on the way home. Then.
聞いて.
Yeah,
It's
cool.
a good driving or a nice chill Sunday kind of album. Like you can listen to it nonstop.
So, I mean, and this is, I'm just going to be a real fanboy here. It's like amazing because I've seen you perform on stage and thinking, oh my God, it's like, I actually know her. I used to work out with her. But it's like, it's so cool because then you come on the podcast. I'm really happy that you're here today.
No, thank you for having me. It was
really awesome.
fun.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever had like this kind of lengthy, in-depth conversation.
No, and you never know where it's going to take you, which I kind of think is really cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about today, or do you want to ask me something? I mean, I spoke a lot.
Yeah, I think I know everything about you.
Yeah, pretty much. They all know me.
It's a good thing. I think I'm good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I will say once again, congratulations on
Thank
your new
you
album, I
so
Sing.
much.
And thank you for
Congratulations to you too.
Yes, thank you very much. And thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Tomodachi, don't forget that we also have patreon.com/Tokyo Show that you can support us on. And please subscribe to the channel and set that reminder. This was Tokyo Talks. So patrons, thank you very much for always supporting the extreme Tomodachis out there. This is Crystal K.
Hey.
And so this is just a warm-up session that only the patrons get to see. And you were asking me,
cool.
what is a Patreon?
Yeah, what is that? I have no idea. I'm
Okay.
like so lost.
So patreon.com